Hey everyone, welcome back to Integratekh. Here, we absolutely love breaking down the latest, most cutting-edge tech findings and keeping things simple, clear, and most importantly, fun. So picture this. It's a gorgeous sunny day, right? You pull your smartphone out of your pocket to snap a quick picture, and ouch, it is literally burning hot to the touch. And to make matters worse, the screen is so incredibly dim you're basically just guessing what you're taking a photo of. We've all been there, haven't we?
Well, that trapped heat, it's actually a silent killer for your device. When your phone is just baking out there in the sun, that excess heat drains your battery life like crazy, and it actually degrades your LED screen over time. But here's the real headache for engineers right now. As we dive into this amazing new wave of ultra-thin foldable phones and flexible wearables, there is just no room left inside. You can't exactly stuff a bulky cooling fan or a heavy metal heatsink into a device that folds right in half. So how on earth do we keep the tech of the future cool without making it super thick and heavy?
Okay, this is where it gets really cool. Pun totally intended. Researchers have just engineered an absolutely brilliant workaround. What you're seeing here is a completely transparent, ultra-thin metamaterial screen cover. You can kind of think of this new material like an invisible thermal portal sitting right on top of your foldable screen. It actively cools the device, but it does it passively, meaning it bounces that heat away without sipping a single drop of your precious battery power.
Now to get how this magic actually works, we need to talk about a really neat concept called radiative cooling. Basically, radiative cooling is just a material's ability to release heat invisibly right into the atmosphere without plugging into anything. No spinning fans, no liquid cooling pipes, just pure, elegant physics. Imagine your phone has a microscopic escape hatch. Instead of trapping all that heat inside the delicate electronics, this material grabs the infrared heat and just shoots it straight out through the atmosphere and into the freezing cold of space. Zero energy required. It's literally free air conditioning for your electronics.
If you look closely at the material being held here, to the naked eye, it looks exactly like a normal piece of clear, flexible plastic. But trust me, getting it to look this crystal clear was an absolute nightmare of an engineering challenge. See, older cooling materials, they were usually completely opaque or super cloudy, which obviously ruins your screen's image quality. Or they were incredibly stiff and brittle, kind of like glass. And you definitely can't build a folding phone out of stiff glass. The researchers basically had to invent a way to make a high-tech cooling shield that was both completely invisible and completely bendable.
So how did they actually pull this off? Well, they used a really clever three-step scientific recipe. Step 1. Start with a super tough, clear, flexible plastic base, known in the lab as clear polyamide. Step 2. They mixed in these microscopic heat-venting glass sponges, scientifically called silica aerogel microparticles. Now, normally, if you dump glass particles into plastic, it's going to look totally cloudy. So for step 3, and this is the real genius part, they fully filled those tiny sponges with a special polymer so their optical properties match the plastic perfectly. It's exactly like hiding a clear glass inside a bowl of water. Because they bend light the exact same way, the glass literally vanishes. So the light from your screen shines through flawlessly, but the heat, that gets vented right out.
Let's talk results, because this is where my mind was totally blown. When researchers took this invisible layer outside and tested it under hot, direct, blistering sunlight, the device's temperature dropped by a whopping 8.3 degrees Celsius. That is almost a 15-degree Fahrenheit drop. And remember, they achieved this completely passively. Not 1% of your battery is drained to make that happen. Oh, and this high-tech layer they built, it is only 50 microns thick. To put that in perspective, that is literally thinner than a single strand of human hair. Absolutely wild. And the real-world proof is just undeniable. Check out this thermal camera heat map straight from the research tests. We've got a normal, bare LED screen being tested right next to an LED screen that's covered with our new transparent metamaterial. Those deep red areas, that means the device is basically burning hot. But look at the purple areas. That means the device is staying beautifully cool. You can so clearly see how the display covered with the invisible shield stays right in that nice, cool purple zone. It literally stops the device from baking in the sun. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, but why does a few degrees actually matter for my everyday life? Well, quite simply, a cooler screen is a dramatically better screen. When a normal LED screen gets physically hot, it loses power efficiency and actually dims itself to survive. But because this new metamaterial physically blocks that overheating from happening in the first place, your screen can stay way brighter, run smoother, and work so much more efficiently. That means your battery lasts a lot longer, and you can actually text at the beach without having to squint at a completely dark screen. Game changer, right? But hold on. You're probably wondering, if we're embedding microscopic glass sponges into a super thin plastic wrap, isn't it just going to snap the second I try to fold my phone? Actually, no. Check out how easily this material folds completely in half. They put this exact material through an extreme mechanical stress test, where they folded and released it 10,000 times. 10,000. And you know what? It survived the whole thing without a single wrinkle, no cracking whatsoever, and it kept every ounce of its crystal clear transparency.
So, let's zoom out for a second. What's the big takeaway here? This breakthrough is honestly so much more than just a neat trick for a cooler screen. By adding those tiny microstructures, they actually gave this material 2.2 times higher elastic strength than regular plastic alone. And on top of using zero battery power to keep things cool, it creates a microscopic, maze-like barrier that physically blocks moisture. So it protects those super delicate, wildly expensive electronics underneath from high humidity, basically acting as a tough waterproof shield. Honestly, this invisible layer really paves the way for an entire next generation of outdoor, foldable, and wearable tech.
Here at Integratekh, we absolutely love digging into these fascinating new tech discoveries and sharing them with you in a way that just makes sense. If you had fun learning about this invisible cooling shield today, we'd be thrilled if you subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that like button and definitely share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious, what gadget do you own right now that desperately needs this cooling tech? Let us know, and make sure to stay tuned for even more amazing tech breakthroughs. I'm going to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on today. As our smartphones and smartwatches keep getting thinner, as they start folding in all these crazy new ways, and as those powerful processors inside just generate more and more heat, will this zero-energy invisible cooling shield become standard issue on literally every single screen you own? Given the absolutely incredible results we just went through, I think it just might. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.